everybody! So I'm doing a 30-minute session today. This is a journey, healing, and wisdom session for Sarita. And I'm going to read just a little bit of her goals here for the work, and then we're going to get started. So Sarita says she's wanting me to remove blockages that are holding me back from moving forward in my spirituality. She wants me to help her become more focused, being able to hear and feel my guides better, clearer third eye vision, open up my creativity. Also wanting me to help her let go of old stuff that is preventing growth, letting go of past traumas if there are any to let go of. I often feel stuck. Also, I tend to watch a lot of TV and overeat, and I want to get rid of whatever it is that keeps me in a broken record cycle. All right, these are some pretty cool goals, Sarita, and you're so awesome for your open-mindedness to share this experience openly for others to learn. So I'm just gonna relax and I'm gonna get started here. Okay. So I'm just connecting with my higher self and spirit guides. Connecting with your higher self and spirit guides. It's pretty there's a dense energy shift going on here. I can feel it in my head, around the top of my head, and then down the back of my head. It also is really heavy for me to breathe right now. There's a reddish color to the way this energy experience feels, but it's like a living red, and there's some pinkish aspects to it, and even white, so it's sort of like red. And this pink color is very unusual pink color. I don't know, it's more like red than pink, but it's definitely like a living pink color. And then there's white. The next thing I experience is a very odd circular structure. It's got little suction cups, like 1,000 of them, like feet. So you could suction it to a window, and then it goes down one section, another section, so it's going downward. But this object, it's not very wide, it's thin. It's rolling very quickly down a hill right now. The suction cups do also feel like feet, and I'm stuck inside. I don't know where I'm going. I can't actually see, not only because I'm just rolling down a hill very quickly, but I'm inside of a structure, so I can't actually see through the structure. It's hard to get this thing to stop rolling so I can actually put my own feet on the ground. This is kind of aggravating for me. I feel frustrated. I feel gypped in a way. I feel I should be able to get a hold of my life easier than this. It feels like it's getting away with me. I'm getting more and more frustrated, more aggravated. And I'm struggling to put my feet on the ground. I'm struggling to just get this to stop already. Let me out now. I want to feel my feet against the ground. I want to feel my feet planted into the ground. I want to feel like either A, I'm grounded and growing in a space, or I am growing through moving towards a direction, but also still grounded. But I don't want to feel like I'm stuck inside this odd contraption that is just out of control, going down a hill, and I can't really see what's in front of me, and I'm just there's no grounding. It's just out of control. And it feels like I don't have any control of what happens next. This is really loud here at the beginning, just the introduction of your spiritual atmosphere. This frustration is very loud. It's like the first scrape of butter that we put on the toast is this. And it's lathered in here. So I'm going to do something. I just snap my fingers. It's sort of like, so in your spiritual atmosphere, I can say, it's time now. You're not spiraling out of control. You're not going crazy down the hill. Like, it's time to acknowledge I am grounded. I have control over my life and my choices and where I'm going with my life. I have my feet firmly planted in the ground, and I can grow into a vibrant tree right here, grounded and solid in what my goals are and what I want. And when I'm ready to transform my roots into feet, I can walk in the direction of my dreams. But I am solid with my dreams, and my dreams are sort of working with me, not it's just a total, like, you know what I mean. Like, how else do I describe this? We're going out of control down a hill. There's no stopping it. But yes, there is. It's time to acknowledge it is time now, and you have to be solid with what you feel inside your heart. Your heart is saying, I'm ready now, but you have to be firmer with it. So I'm doing this already in your spiritual atmosphere, so I'm manifesting that transformation of consciousness. So it's going to make you feel more grounded. It's going to make you feel more like you can grasp your dreams. I mean, I'm already feeling so much more grounded myself. It's almost hard to speak. It feels great. But there's still a lot more to see and discover in here. This is just the beginning. But this is going to get you jump-started in the right direction. All right, so I've got you finally out of this contraption. But it's really hard to let go. There's an attachment to this way of being. You're also, you were sort of at the top of the hill, now you've rolled down towards the bottom. So you're towards the bottom of the hill. It's kind of mountain-esque. So it's going to be a long walk back up. So there's also something kind of frustrating about this too. Maybe I should just stay in this barrel and go all the way down the hill, and maybe there's some other direction I should be going in anyway. Because the thought of actually having to put forth the effort, now that you've been taken down, like, towards the bottom of this mountain-esque thing, it feels like a long ways to go. And I'd much rather take the easy way than have to put forth the effort to climb this mountain. It just looks like too much work. Your consciousness actually is contemplating just getting back in the barrel and saying hell with it. I tell you it's okay. I know what it's like to feel like it's a much bigger world than you could possibly conquer, and it feels a lot more exhausting than it really is. That doesn't mean it doesn't feel that way. This is a big deal because something in your consciousness tells me that I was a bird in a nest at one time, and then I got conked out of the nest, and now here I'm on the ground, and how am I supposed to get the wings to fly? I'm now a land bird. I might as well transform my identity so I could just live here and function on land instead of have to figure out how to fly with nobody to teach me. Maybe I should just accept my place in this world is right here. Maybe I wasn't meant to just stay in the nest and fly from the nest. This is really loud as well in your spiritual atmosphere, this image here. It's very energetically, I feel it. The consciousness does not want to admit it has wings to fly, or it doesn't know how to fly without a teacher. So it would much rather figure out just how to be a bird that walks around like all the other animals that live on the land. It has legs already. It knows how to use them. It doesn't know how to use its wings. So it'd rather be something that it's not, because it really insists it needs to have a teacher in order to understand how to fly. If it doesn't have a teacher, then it will just learn how to walk. because it already has legs. So it doesn't have to figure out how to use them, it already knows how to use them. This is a big deal because there's something about your identity where you have to see who you truly are. And you have to really grab hold of this because you gotta own it. And I'm not going to put up with you getting into that wheelbarrow thing going down the hill. It's gonna stop right here, and you're going to take the hard way. And you're gonna discover it's the best way. And in the end, it's actually not as hard as you thought. You see how much your ego is in control here? Your ego is going to make this mountain look like it's never going to be conquered. It's going to exhaust you. It's going to take years and years. It feeds you with all types of ideas as to why it's better to just figure an easier strategy. But they're saying no more falling back on an easier strategy. It's too lazy for you. You're not giving yourself enough credit. That's kind of a cool message. Even though they're sort of like the mom and the dad type of energy that we're not going to put up with you being lazy. You are going to get out of this contraption and you are going to walk your way to the top of that mountain because you can do it. And you have to believe in yourself. There's some other stuff going on here. So I got to figure out, there's some hardcore ego stuff going on that is kind of the ego imprisoning stuff instead of, ego gets overwhelmed when ego feels like it's in control of everything. Ego feels like it's the master. It's got to be in control of how you speak, how you feel, how you choose to be grounded or not. It has to figure everything out for you. So ego feels like it is the master of the vessel. Ego isn't the master of your vessel. Ego needs to stand out a little bit and realize that the work also comes from these other beautiful parts of the total energy spectrum that is your divine essence. So now ego needs to just go right over there and just chill out for a little bit, and we allow your heart now to open up, and we allow your emotional region. This is like opening up all the chakras, okay? Because they're a part of this journey too, and your heart is powerful. Your emotions are there to experience and help translate how you feel about things, and you need that sensory tool to help you understand, who am I? How do I feel right now? Do I feel hurt? Should I stand up for what I believe in? Should I not? Should I speak from the heart? Should I just hide it all inside myself and store it in my gut? It's also about sexual balance. It's about the balance of your totality. Like, we have all these energy balances. So we need them to be open and working together, where this just needs to just relax a little bit and take a seat along the side. Ego likes to get out of control, but that's okay. Because when it comes to psychic development, how do you go beyond the thoughts? How do you know if they're psychic thoughts or if they're just ego-based thoughts? You can tell by you start working with your heart and you start quieting your mind. The more you work with your heart, the more you'll start to discover higher wisdom. It feels like it's coming from your head, but you can tell it's not. It's actually coming from your heart. But you'll see visual images here in your third eye. But it all comes from your heart and from deep down inside your soul. So I'm not going to let ego make it feel like this journey is impossible. Now we can understand why you feel so blocked. There's also some idea that you need a master teacher, when actually you're quite wise if you allow it to be known from deep down inside yourself. Have you ever seen yourself as the master teacher? Would you give yourself credit as a master teacher? Now we start to rearrange or reorganize perception of self. A lot of us don't give ourselves credit for anything. And we wouldn't identify ourselves as a master teacher because we're taught or we're trained to believe that there's somebody wiser out there, that we're gonna, we have to travel far and we'll have to climb a tall mountain and we'll have to go to a Buddhist monastery or something in order to attain the master teacher. So the journey itself is the learning, and then you get there and then you have other learning to do, but really life is the journey and you are the master teacher. And so it's discovering that from inside yourself. Man. You really are right about blocks, because you're really, I see in the next scene, it looks much like an egg, but you are the egg, the inside of the egg itself. So you actually look like that. You don't look like a person in an egg. You look like the yolk of the egg. And then there's the egg shell, and then there's like a dark red color, and the egg is located in a space with a dark red color. And it feels like you're confined and you're trapped, and you don't have the strength to break the shell, but yet you are not, you haven't developed enough in order to actually break the shell either. So you can't be a yolk and break the shell. You got to be a chicken, a baby chicken, to break the shell. But why are you defining yourself as a yolk instead of a baby chicken? And why are you putting yourself inside of an eggshell in the first place? So you see, again, there's some sort of pattern here. I don't know where this pattern is coming from, if it's coming from like a self-taught thing over the course of your upbringing. It's really integrated into this lifetime, but everything in this lifetime is also integrated from all the other lifetimes. But this feels really like some really loud instruction from this lifetime that was extremely hurt, and then molded and shaped you into seeing your worth and value at this level. And you're not a yolk inside of an egg. You're not even a chicken inside of an egg. You don't need to live inside of an egg. You are free. I'm granting you your freedom. Okay, another ego-based, irritated, snickering, snide watcher, wanting to put you down, wanting to tell you your worth and value, wanting to keep you as a yolk inside of an egg, and you're never going to get out. And I'm going to make sure of it. I have the key to your locked cell. But you accept this. You feel like this is the correct way for your mind to talk to you. Is life about listening to your head, or is it about following your heart? And your ego mind is very not nice to you. It's very confining. It's very imprisoning. You need to quiet that down. And the message is you have a big, beautiful heart, and discover it. Is it a mountain to climb for you to discover your big, beautiful heart? Or is it easy? Is it a breeze? You just simply explore your heart essence, how you feel deeply, and allow your heart to share childlike or creative images to help you understand a deeper meaning. Again, there are some extremely rigid energy blocks in here. They're really definable though. I can see them. This next one is more of, we have the egg, and we have this dark red room, and now we have it stored inside of a crate. And this crate is now locked inside of a bigger box, and it's sort of freight on a really big ship, The ship itself feels contained. I mean, it's like a gift inside of a gift inside of a gift. So it's like a box inside of a box inside of a box, and you're really, 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 really deep down inside of it all. Are you ready to come out into the world? Is it safer to be inside of a box, inside of a box, inside of a box, inside of a box? To be a yolk inside of an egg? Why did this become your self-worth and value? Where did that come from? I'll tell you where it came from. You somehow believed that the voice that this comes from is also a reflection of the same. They too are afraid. They too would feel far more safe inside of many, many boxes, self-imprisoning themselves where it is safe and cozy. Don't stray too far. And it's even better to just not develop, because if you're underdeveloped now, it's okay. It's sort of like staying a child for the rest of your life and saying, well, I just never grew up. No, that's not good enough. You grow up and you become dynamic and an explorer, an adventurer, a deep thinker, a discoverer. Whoever inspired this type of structural pattern in your spiritual atmosphere felt this way themselves. And to be honest, there's a lot of disappointment I have in this one, because they need to wake up. They need to open their eyes and see the beauty of their own potential. But they aren't strong enough to do that. However, you are strong enough to do that, which is breaking the mold, which is you taking the bull by the horns, the reins of the horse. That this is you taking control of your life. You don't have to live your life the way they did. And I'm telling you, whoever this is, I don't get the impression there's any change or motivation to change right now, whereas there is in you. But somehow you still are kind of aligning with somebody you're not. And you're trying to discover yourself for yourself, but where is the mirror in order to see your true reflection? That's the hard part. I feel sad to see this baby bird feel that it is alone, that it has no one to help it to fly, and its motivation to become a walking creature, it's all not the truth. It's all self-manifested, ego-based garbage to keep you in the same structural pattern as wherever this manipulative ideologies came from. I'm still breaking this structure down through simply speaking openly and honestly with you about the truth. And it's helping you to disconnect your energy field from a belief system that became, I don't know if it's so underneath the skin that you wouldn't notice it. It would just feel like normal life, but it is very loud in here. And you might just need somebody to point it out to you, and bam, you start to see it. Now it starts to shake off of you. Now you can start to see who you truly are in the mirror, because you're not connected to that anymore. That old energy garbage is not actually who you are at all. And the cool part is you know this, which is why you're reaching out to me, because you're ready to develop, you're ready to grow. And I see you, it doesn't matter where this wheelbarrow stops, because you could grow bigger than the mountain. And what's one step to get to the top of this mountain when you are bigger than the mountain. It's a cinch. They keep saying this is a cinch. There's a next part to this conversation here. This is again like a feisty, angry, little energy rattle going on. This one is a little more destructive. It carries big knives. It will choke you in a heartbeat. It'll sabotage you. It wants to make you feel hurt inside, as I see it stab a very long sword. But it's also the size of a dagger, but it seems to go on forever. But it goes straight to the heart, and then it goes slowly in, but it just keeps going and going and going, and it wants you to feel the entire experience for all eternity. This is not a nice part. This is part of your consciousness. A lot of people would say, well, that's a negative entity, but sometimes we are the biggest negative entities in our own life, and it really stems from ego and ego-based fears. And a lot of times we don't realize that it's our own fears of expansion that do this. And we'll create excuses in order to say that that's just life, or I just don't have a master teacher, or just whatever. But that's okay, because we're self-realizing, and we're all in this kit and caboodle together, so we're all dealing with our own challenges that we are working on overcoming. And this session here is going to give you so much self-discovery. It's really going to help you grow big time. All right, I'm still looking at this one with this, what is just the size of a dagger, but it's really like a super long sword. The problem is you're willing to accept this type of pain. And because that would be defined as acceptable, like normal as having breakfast, or eating dinner, or having a glass of water when you're thirsty. So this will remain. There's a version of you sitting here and enduring this torture. I feel it in your heart, a deep pain inside your heart that seems to go on for all eternity. But you just hold your breath and just continue to grit your teeth and bear it. As though that this is something that is meant to be. This is as natural as breathing. This is life. Life is this. Gosh, I'm telling you, it's very painful. It's slow and agonizing torture. It's really harsh. It hurts your heart immensely. It's really rude. It's very inconsiderate. It doesn't care about you at all. It doesn't care about your feelings. And it's quite happy to watch you accepting this and identifying it as life. You don't have to. You actually don't have to. This again is one of the wheelbarrow moments where we want out of this. We want to feel grounded, but we don't know how to. Well, you start by doing the simple as saying, I am grounded. Now all of a sudden you're out of the wheelbarrow, you're on your feet, and you're growing roots into the ground. Affirmations, believe it or not, are ridiculously powerful things. And they work. They really, really do work. And I discover how powerful they are the more I develop my own gifts and abilities, because affirmations, when I do energy work on people, it's like it instantly triggers change. But if you don't discover yet your total caliber with your psychic gifts, you might not understand the power of an affirmation like I do. But I'm telling you, they're powerful. They're ridiculously powerful things. So here again, the struggle is A, getting out of the wheelbarrow, starting to live your life for yourself, getting grounded, getting solid, and moving forward with your life, discovering that you could be bigger than a mountain. Now you could even just step over the mountain. There is no challenge that is a burden, because there's no such thing as challenge, and it only feels like a burden if you want to believe that it is one. So that's ego. But here again, you don't have to endure this. You can make this go away at any time. You have to simply say, I am not going to accept this dagger in my heart. It is not what life is about. Life is about love and warmth and nourishment. Life is about, they show me a family of baby birds that are taking care of each other. So when one baby bird falls out of the nest, I see mom and dad go try talking to each other. They're bluebirds talking to each other, and then it's all kind of cartoonesque. They fly down and they both work together to pick the baby bird up and put the bird back in the nest, and they take care of each other. And that's what love is. That's what family's all about. That's what friendship is all about. That's what relationships are all about. That should also be what jobs are all about. Everything in this world, the balance of this world is all about love and taking care of each other. And somehow you're in a state where you feel like the baby bird fell out of the nest, and now you have to figure out how to live your life for yourself. And it is very manipulative, confusing, and you don't know how to find your wings. That the wings are there all along. But this is agonizing. This dagger thing is very agonizing. I'm just going to stay with it for just a few more minutes here. I just pause the whole scene. I take this dagger and I ask you, what does this mean to you? It is no longer piercing your heart right now. Everything is paused out, and I'm just showing the dagger to you. You have your hands tied behind your back, you're on your knees, your eyes are closed, and you're just preparing again for the beginning of the stab that goes on for all eternity. And even the deliverer of this pain and suffering is actually stepping aside to give you a chance to explore what this means to you. You ask me if I could first use it to cut the ropes off of your wrists so you could have access to your hands. You are a very beautiful soul, by the way. I mean, it is so loud right now how beautiful your soul is, and your soul is very beautiful. You hold the dagger in your hand. It's got a golden blade, and it's a crooked blade. You're looking at the blade, you're holding it, the handle, you're sort of turning it up and down like this, you're examining it. You touch the tip to see how sharp it is. There is a lot more to this story with the knife. What is echoes of other lifetimes, exploring weapons. You do the most incredible thing possible. Instead of going into the sorrow of the past lifetimes where you have suffered from these piercings of a sword, you say, I'm not going to muddle in the mud and the muck and the blood, sweat, and tears of those other lifetimes. I've already lived them. I've already dwelled on them enough. I'm ready to put the dagger down. You stand up, you set it on a table. The deliverer of the pain and suffering is very proud of you. It's amazing because they can also be echoes of spiritual teachers too that love you very much, but they take on a persona of what is harming in order for you to overcome the lesson, and now you can receive the love that is the extraordinary gift that was there all along. In a way, it was your own creation. You put this dagger down and you say, I am ready for new things. You open a door along the side of kind of a rickety old shack where this was all taking place. You tell me I'm not quite sure how to live my life anew, but I'm ready, and I am looking forward to discovering what this can be like. I'm starting to feel like life is joyful, life is love, life is a gift. And I choose to believe, I choose to feel that every step I take is a magical one. Your soul has left what is sort of like a nightmarish playhouse of echoing pains and sufferings. And it's all buried, it's all rest in peace. So why are we still hanging on to stuff that is gone now? It's time to move on. I see your soul now walking through what is a very majestic looking forest and feeling connected to nature. There's sort of there's some sort of witchy side. What is a wise witch, but really a nature worker? Somebody who works with plants and hears plant spirits, but somebody who feels very connected to the frequencies of the planet, but very connected with love, very wise speaker even. Not somebody who would press upon another their beliefs, but somebody who would be patient with others, a very patient teacher even. And understanding that people will come into your life as they're meant to, and you don't have to force anybody to want to be your friend or to get to know you. Everything happens as the tide turns. Also, so too your life is very similar. It's like the waves of the ocean. It's just moving forward as it is meant to. I really like you. I really like your spirit. There's a lavender light that I experience echo back at me. It reminds me of a beautiful memory I have in my own life, being a kid and hiding in the lilac bushes. And I would sit there and just smell the lilacs. It's so innocent and so freeing, and yet so simple but so magical and so healing. And I didn't even know it. But your energy is also like this too. Your energy is very dynamic. Your energy is a lot of things. So the question is, what do you do next? You start by just allowing this energy to process, because it's disconnecting you from a lot of old junk, and it's bringing a lot of your energy back into yourself in a way that is a balanced, loving interaction with yourself. It's going to help you feel grounded, clear, and get you starting to work with your heart instead of your head. And the request is to start seeing how beautiful you are in the mirror and how you are one of a kind, and to start seeing yourself as a master teacher and work with your heart. So that's this session. I'm a little out of it. Give me just a moment here to come back to my body. All right, Sarita, thank you so much for exploring this session with me and sharing your experience openly with others. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in a one-on-one session, I do private videos, I do live sessions, or if you want to share yours as well, we can always share it on YouTube. But if you're interested in a session, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I'm also making videos on Patreon, so be sure to check me out there. Anyone who subscribes to my Patreon site will receive a 25% off coupon to my psychic services, so it's well worth checking it out. All right, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and Sarita, thank you again.